Nestled beneath the shadows of the Blackwood Mountains lay Hollow Creek, a quaint little town that thrived in the days of yore. Few people outside its borders knew of its existence, and even fewer believed the whispers that circulated about the cursed remnants that haunted its dilapidated streets. When the autumn leaves turned crimson and the air grew crisp, the townsfolk boarded up their homes, locking away secrets that skirted the edges of reality. Halloween had arrived once again, and with it came the spirits hungry for retribution. The legend of Hollow Creek began years before, with a young woman named Eliza who was renowned for her beauty and benevolence. The townspeople adored Eliza, showering her with praise and celebrating her kindness. However, that admiration turned to bitterness when a wealthy stranger rode into town, taking a particular interest in Eliza. His dark allure and wealth captivated many, but it was Eliza's heart that he intended to seize. Unsure of the stranger's true intentions, the townsfolk warned her. Consumed by jealousy and fear, they turned on the stranger, believing he was toying with the precious girl's affections. That Halloween Eve, the townspeople, fueled by paranoia, gathered torches and pitchforks. They stormed the stranger's residence, dragging him from his home and accusing him of witchcraft. In a flurry of fury, he cursed the town to a fate worse than death. The undead would roam Hollow Creek, condemned to wander among the living as grotesque reminders of their sins. Eliza, horrified by the violence, pleaded for the stranger's life, declaring him innocent. But her cries fell to deaf ears. In a desperate attempt to save him, Eliza confronted the townspeople, claiming her love for the stranger. Enraged by her betrayal, they cast her out as well. The stranger vanished, and as the clock struck midnight, Hollow Creek succumbed to chaos. Those who took part in the mob had their souls stolen away, dooming them to exist as zombies, cursed to haunt the town forever. As the years passed, the town faded into obscurity, overgrown and abandoned, save for the ghostly remnants of its former inhabitants. For decades, Hollow Creek lay silent until a small group of urban explorers stumbled upon it one fateful Halloween night, cloaked in costumes and armed with bravado. Among them stood Jenna, an aspiring filmmaker, who had heard the tales of Hollow Creek's curse. Captivated by the story, her heart raced with excitement, and a hint of fear. She led her friends, Danny, Lisa, and Mark, into the decaying town, the air thick with the smell of damp earth and neglect. "Are you sure we should be here?" Lisa murmured, her unease palpable. "Come on. It's just a story," Jenna replied, though she couldn't help but feel the weight of the legends pressing against her chest. They wandered down the main street, lined with crumbling houses and shattered windows, each one telling its own poignant tale of a town lost in time. A chill ran through the air, and as they passed an old church, Jenna felt a shiver creep down her spine. "Let me set up the camera, we can capture the ambience." As Jenna fiddled with her equipment, Mark wandered behind a nearby house, hoping to find something of interest for the film. Suddenly, a low groan echoed through the night, icy tendrils of fear coiling around his guts. He turned to see shadowy figures emerging from the mist-twisted remnants of the townsfolk, their eyes hollow, skin rotting. The zombies shuffled closer, driven by a hunger born of despair. "Guys!" Mark shouted, panic lacing his voice. The others turned, eyes widening in horror as the zombies advanced. Jenna quickly grabbed the camera, intending to film their terrifying encounter. When she realized the truth too late, nothing could prepare them for what was happening. With adrenaline coursing through their veins, they sprinted down the street, hearts pounding in rhythm with their frantic footsteps. The groans grew louder, echoing off the decaying walls, taunting them. Back to the entrance, Danny shouted, urging them onward. We've got to get out of here. But as they reached the town's center, the ground beneath their feet trembled, dark figures closing in from all sides. Jenna caught sight of a tall figure in the distance, an ethereal woman engulfed in shimmering light. She seemed to draw strength from the darkness surrounding them. Eliza, Jenna whispered, recognizing the spirit from the old stories. The apparition took form, her eyes filled with sorrow. You seek to understand our plight. Eliza's voice echoed, bridging the realms of life and death. We didn't mean to disturb you. Jenna gasped, feeling tears prick at her eyes. Eliza's voice was mournful. You carried the weight of the past. Reckon with the sins of your ancestors, and the curse will be broken. Save those who wander. Gathering her courage, Jenna turned to her friends, resolute. We can help them. We cannot let them suffer for the mistakes of their past. One by one, she encouraged her friends to join her as they approached the zombies. Instead of fleeing, they faced the cursed souls. With every parched, tearful gaze, they offered apologies, acknowledging the pain etched into the fabric of Hollow Creek. As they did so, flickers of light pulsed from the zombies, their forms beginning to shift. The cursed began to soften, torn faces morphing into recognition and grace. As Jenna's heartfelt words reached the depths of their souls, the zombies' groans turned into gentle sighs, the shadows of despair lifting from their essence. Eliza smiled, arms stretched wide, encircling them in a warm environment. You have freed them. The curse is lifted. The transformation unfolded before their eyes. The anguished souls glowed with vibrant light, freed at last from their torment. Hollow Creek whispered thanks, a soft rustle on the wind as its forgotten past was finally laid to rest. With dawn's first light spilling into the town, limbs grew strong and laughter echoed, fog lifting to reveal the once stricken streets of Hollow Creek. Jenna and her friends stood in awe, hearts racing not with fear, but with a sense of rebirth and connection to the town's legacy. Hollow Creek is free! Lisa exclaimed, tears of joy sparkling in her eyes. As the sun rose over the mountains, the explorers left the enchanting town behind, carrying its spirit with them, a reminder that even in the shadow of Halloween, redemption could shine. The cursed town of Hollow Creek was no more, it was a home reborn.